I may support Peter Obi in 2027. Atiku says, so what has changed? This must be a press interview that Atiku granted. I know there have been rumors of Peter Obi meeting with Atiku, with Kwakwanso, and those key northern politicians, especially the presidential aspirants of those political parties. There was also a rumor that all other political parties are merging with Labour Party to be able to oust APC come 2027. And after the meeting of Peter Obi with Atiku in the recent time, there have been speculations that the parties will want to merge. But the question Nigerians are asking is, who will be the president? Who will be the vice president? Atiku is desperate to be president. Kwakwanso is desperate to be president. Obi also wants to be president. So who will drop for each other? And that has been a big question that has not been answered by any of them. And that is why people think that the so-called merger between PDP, between PDP, Labour Party, and NNPP, SDP, and other parties may not work because nobody wants to step down for each other. But in this post, Atiku granted a kind of press interview, question and answer, and he said he may support Peter Obi come 2027. And that, again, I'm very skeptical about it. Now, they say presidency in Nigeria is rotational, and now is the turn of the South. In the turn of the South, Tinubu has been able to push himself in these first 4 years. So if Atiku and Kwakwanso and everybody supports Peter Obi in 2027, does it mean that the South will do only one tenure again? Because that will make it 2 tenures for the presidency in the South. So does it mean that he will be there just for 1 term, and then the presidency will go back to the North? This is a northern game or northern politics coming to play here, which I think Peter Obi and the Southerners, everybody need to watch it. But again, even if Peter Obi stays 4 years, I'm sure 4 years will be so much enough for him to turn this around. And he can still go and come back again in future. He can still do that if he does very well. Okay? Because the way it is now, he's younger than all of them, and he has a better blood to stay longer in the system. So, but is this not a northern politics? Anything coming from these people, I struggle so much to trust it. But again, let's dive into the details to see the meat of the matter. Former Vice President Atiku Abubakar met with Peter Obi, the presidential candidate of the Labour Party in the 2023 general elections in Abuja earlier in the week. So the meeting sparked speculations about a merger of some opposition political parties ahead of the 2027 general elections. So in an interview with BBC Hausa service monitored by Fred Eze, Atiku Abubakar explained the reasons for the meeting. You had a meeting with Peter Obi, the presidential candidate of the Labour Party in the last general election. What was the reason for the meeting? That was the question that they threw to him in that BBC Hausa. And he said it's just a normal friendly meeting that we often have, particularly we in the opposition parties. Such meetings are healthy for Nigerian democracy and for the country's interest. People are saying, okay, they now threw another question to him. People are saying the meeting was to form a merger or alliance between your party, PDP, and Labour Party. Is that possible? He said, yes, it is very possible. We can merge to achieve a common goal. So it is possible and nothing can stop it if we so wish to achieve that. But the choice of presidential candidate might frustrate the effort. That's another question they threw to him. So if he says it's possible to merge, but the choice of a presidential candidate might frustrate it because none of you would want to step down for each other. And he said that is not true. That challenge will not arise. I can tell you that the choice of who will fly the flag of the party won't arise. And they asked him again, why do you think so? And he said, I don't think so. I know so. Believe me, the challenge will not arise. Or are you expecting it to arise? Just believe me that it won't arise. Can you imagine? And then they ask another question. What if it is required that both of you and Peter B drop your ambition and support someone else? Will you and other supporters and others support that? He said, I have said repeatedly, and I even said it before the 2023 general election, that if PDP decide to zone the president ticket to the south or southeast specifically, I won't contest it. As long as it is the decision of the party, I will abide by it. But I contested in 2023 presidential election ticket because it was thrown open to all members of the party. Can you imagine? So he said it was thrown open to all members of the party. It was not specifically to go to south, southeast, south, or anywhere. So it was thrown open. That was why we took it, because everybody is thinking that you took it because of your greed for power. That is it. So now you're saying that they threw it. Okay, they threw it open, and that is why you took it. Okay. Then they ask him another question. If Peter Obi, being from the southeast, is the choice, will you support him? He said, if the party decides that it is the turn of the southeast and Peter Obi is chosen, I won't hesitate to support him. How is the major talking going? That's another question. So he has confirmed here that if the party chooses to zone the presidency to the southeast and Peter Obi is chosen, that he will support him, because that is the wish of the party. This question and answer just to answer and go. I don't believe what this guy is saying. He's too desperate to be president. Okay, and he can influence the party to make the decision otherwise. And Peter Obi cannot go back to that party to go and meet Atiku and Wike. No, I don't think so. Okay, so he has agreed now that if the party opens it as zones presidency to the southeast and pick Peter Obi, that he will support Peter Obi. And then the question is, how is the major talk going? He said, we are still discussing the issue, and in the right time, we would make our position known. And when will you conclude the discussion? That is another question. I can't disclose that for now because it is not yet the right time to do that. Now, another question. After the 2023 elections, you were expected to be quiet and observe, but you are still playing that opposition. Why? He said, yes, we can't keep quiet and watch things go wrong. People are suffering, and we are committed to making Nigeria a better place. It means you are not tired of politics of Nigeria. Not at all. I am still in active politics in Nigeria, at least as long as God permits. Can you imagine? So people are expecting you to give space to younger ones, considering your age. That is the question they threw to him again. And he said, my age doesn't stop the young ones from testing their faith. Everybody, irrespective of age, is allowed to aspire to be anybody in the society, politically or otherwise. So they now ask him another question. So there is the possibility of you contesting in 2027 election. He said, but that would depend on the decision of my party. I can't make any categorical statement on that. It is the duty of the party to decide on the way to go in the next election. That can imagine. And then they ask him, what your interest is still there? Okay, what if your interest is still there? He said, until that time comes, let's just wait and see how it will turn out. Okay, the next question is, people are interpreting your recent meetings with various people as watering the ground for the next election. And he answered again, it must not be interpreted like that. I must not be eyeing elections to have meetings with political friends and associates. Currently, we are practicing democracy in this country, which we fought for with our blood. Many people lost their lives in the struggle. As a result, we would continue to ensure that democracy is strengthened in the country. We can't watch from the sidelines as things are getting bad. Okay. So that is exactly what happened between Atiku Abubakar and the Hausa, BBC Hausa during the interview, and these are the questions they ask him about his ambition, about the merger, about the meeting with Peter Obi, about the meeting with other political parties, about zoning of presidency to the south if PDP so wishes. And the summary of the thing is that if the PDP wishes to zone the presidency to the southeast and Peter Obi is chosen, Atiku said he's ready to support him. But for me, not really because he loves Southeast so much or Peter Obi so much, but because if that is the party decision, he's ready to abide by it. So all this party decision, who influences party decision? Who calls the shot? That's the question. Those leaders that are in the PDP leadership at national level, and the National Working Committee and the Executive Council, all of them are in the pocket of these politicians. That is the problem. Wike is turning PDP national leadership around. The current party national chairman acting is Wike's candidate. So what? So is Atiku trying to tell us now that he's still under the control of Wike? Because if he himself as a presidential candidate is not able to influence or support the influence to generate or create a neutral party president, okay, then it means that he's still under the influence of Wike. Wike is still cutting the shot in PDP, and he is there. No, I don't understand what Atiku is doing. So does it mean that in Nigeria, the presidential candidates don't have power over the party leadership? They should have. To some extent, they should have. After all, that the product of the party and that the product the party is marketing. Wow. So that is exactly what is happening there. I just hope that what he's saying is exactly what he will do. Thank you for listening, and let's have your comment.